let's go. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, Pwamps. Hey, Pwamps.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Pwamps.
All right, everybody, we are back with the Pwamps Show. We've got sports once again. It was a big week for the sports world. This week might be a bit bigger. Let's take a look back at it. NFL, some major games going on. We've got Monday Night Football tonight, which could be a potential Game of the Year candidate between the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. We'll get to more of the NFL in a minute. In the college football world, new AP Top 25 just dropped a little while ago. Number one, it's still the Buckeyes at the Horseshoe. Did not play this week, but they hold serve in the number one spot. Number two, some movement from the Miami Hurricanes. Carson Beck is playing at an elite level. Hurricanes are number two in the AP poll. Number three, Penn State, Happy Valley, they fall just one spot, but that is because of how well and how good the Miami Hurricanes have looked. Number four, it's the Tigers of LSU in Baton Rouge. Looking really good. Garrett Nussmeier, Brian Kelly, they're happy with how they're playing. And then number five, it's Mr. Visor himself, Kirby Smart, and the Georgia Bulldogs sitting once again where they always tend to be in that top five. And then, honorable mention to number six, it's the Oregon Ducks. And the reason I throw them in there, they have probably one of the biggest games of the college football season this year as they travel to Happy Valley to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. This is number six, traveling to number three. What a game that will be. Now, we look back. Featured four this week. We had some good games. My other four, we had some good games. I'm going to start out, though, with a game that was not on my board. I have to give this a mention. Toledo, my MAC favorites, traveling to take on Western Michigan. Toledo, the Rockets, they go up 13-0. They're thinking we're going to go to Western Michigan, we're going to get a win, we're going to keep going in conference play. Wait a minute. Brock Lowry comes onto the scene. He puts 6 up. Uh-oh, this game just got cut in half a little bit. What's happened? Oh, no, we missed the extra point. So they're sitting at 13-6. This isn't good. 2 minutes to go. Go to Brock Lowry again, baby. Give him the ball. They score again. It's now 13-12. They're having some extra point woos. Are they going to kick the extra point? Are they going to go for two? No. We're going to go back to Mr. Lowry. We're going to put the 2-point conversion in. Western Michigan gets the upset over my MAC favorites, the Toledo Rockets. That was a game, 14-13, that it would be on my board if I could do it all over again. MAC, Toledo loses to Western Michigan. That was a game. Now we go to my featured four. Got to talk about Illinois, the Fighting Illini, traveling to Bloomington to take on Indiana. This was supposed to be a game of fireworks. It turned into a bloodbath for one side. Illinois gets embarrassed in Bloomington. Luke Altmaier really struggled. The offense really struggled. Defense couldn't get a stop at all. Top 20 matchup that was very one-sided. A storyline of last year, Indiana was undefeated. Was it too light a schedule to get into the college football playoff? Do we have a case of pretenders on our hands here? We don't know. We're going to find out for the Fighting Illini, though, as the next couple of weeks of the season unfold. Another game, Michigan State, the Spartans. I know a lot of people in East Lansing have been asking, they've been talking about, are the Spartans for real this year? Here's what I'll tell you. They've got some heart. Spartans played a good game. They were out of it for a little while. They were in it for a little bit. Then they were back out of it. Mr. Maeva for USC, the Trojans, Lincoln Riley. These guys are playing some pretty good football. Coliseum's a tough place to play. USC came out on top of the Michigan State Spartans. That was late Saturday night. But we're going to go even later Saturday night now. We might even go Sunday morning very early on. How about the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors hosting the Fresno State Bulldogs? If you're a Bulldog diehard, if you're a Rainbow Warrior diehard, this was a game for you. Early Sunday morning appetizer before the NFL came on. It ends up with Fresno State getting the win in Mountain West play, 23-21 over the Rainbow Warriors. That was college football. Let's take a look at MLB now real quickly. Whew. You're probably thinking, oh man, this is a lot of stuff to go through. Well, we're just getting started. Baseball, these pennant races are getting really hot and heavy, folks. The Detroit Tigers. If you're in Detroit, I can't see, are you guys still alive over there with how much stress is going on in your lives right now? Tigers are struggling. A lot of people are talking about it. The bullpen is digging themselves their own grave. Is this team even going to make the postseason? We're going to talk about that in a little while. The only sigh of relief they got was the Cleveland Guardians, who were on an 11-game streak, dropped the game. That took a little heat off. How about this? The New York Mets. Oh boy. The Mets need to pull their pants up because they're struggling. Mets are struggling, folks. The Reds have now taken that final wild card spot for them. Reds right now have a couple of tiebreakers that have them sitting pretty in this final wild card spot, but we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes for MLB. Now, this is usually, it's been the past couple weeks where I'd say, hey, let's jump to the next sport. Wait a minute. We got something else entering the fray this week in the golf world. Hey, Philip, the 4 majors have already come and gone. There's nothing left on the golf calendar. You're wrong. Maybe the most exciting golf event, even more than the majors, in my opinion, you've got the Ryder Cup. Every 2 years, the 12 best players from the USA go head-to-head against the 12 best players from Europe. It's going to be a great event. It kicks off this week. You're going to hear a lot more from me about that as the week goes on. Now I can say it. Let's dive in to the NFL. Hey everybody, we are standing in front of our NFL info board and we're ready to dive in on how this week shaped up. Let's take a look. On your left, you see again, it's the winners of this week. On your right, you see the teams that lost, but you also see a row of teams that stood tall even with that loss. And then directly above me, what we're going to talk about first, it's Monday Night Football. A major game of the year candidate here between the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. M&T Bank Stadium, already a very tough place to win. You throw in it being in primetime on Monday night, that makes it even tougher. Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown, Derrick Henry for the Ravens, Jared Goff, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, these are 2 stacked lineups that we are seeing for both these teams. Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive side. You've got weapons galore on both sides. And let's talk about this. Both teams sitting at 1-1. This is a major game. Both these teams came into this season Super Bowl aspirations, possibly Super Bowl favorites. You do not want to be 1-2. This is a huge game tonight on Monday Night Football. You do not want to miss it. So, let's look to your left. We've got the winners side here. We've got the top row. These are the teams that stood tall with the win. They looked really good and showed some really good signs while doing so. Start with the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift. These guys played really well. The offense, Ben Johnson, he's going to be really pleased with what he saw out of his Bears team, picking up a big win against the Dallas Cowboys. If you're Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, you're America's team, there's some red lights that are starting to flash. You're 1-2. You played the Chicago Bears this week. Last week, you beat the New York Giants 45-42 in overtime. And I hate to say it, the Giants aren't impressing a ton of people right now. There's warning signs for the Cowboys. We move to the Browns. Browns picked up a massive win, and guess who it was again? It was the Browns defense making plays. This is one of the toughest defenses in the NFL, maybe the best. They came out with a 13-10 win, upset win over the Green Bay Packers. Now, Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champs. They always look really good. These guys show up, third game, taking on the LA Rams at home. 2 undefeateds, both sitting at 2-0. The Eagles look good. Rams go down the field, chance to kick a game-winning field goal. They block it. Eagles cement their spot in our top row for this week, and they move to 3-0. Who's number 4 this week? It's the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young. These guys were looking really good. Chuba Hubbard. Panthers look good, folks. They're trying to make a little play here. Trying to make just a little play in their division. Panthers look good. A 30-0 win over the Atlanta Falcons, who just last week, they went into Minnesota. Yes, we know J.J. McCarthy left that game, but the Falcons put some teams on alert. We were thinking, hey, NFC South, Falcons are going to be making a little case they've got some problems that are starting to show. We're going to talk about that on your right side of the board. That's our top 4 here. Now you look at the rest of the winners. We're going to go through it real quickly. Bills. This is our top, by the way. These are the undefeateds. This row, and then right here, the Niners. Bills are undefeated. Buccaneers, let's take a quick note here. They're the first one. We had the debut of some retro unis this week. It is always fun to see it. You love to see the nostalgia come back in full force, and that's why they're called throwback unis, folks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in their cream, in their orange and red, the Buccaneers get a big-time win and avoid a late upset bid by the New York Jets. That was a good little game. 29-27, Buccaneers come out on top. Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones. They're calling him Indiana Jones. I love that nickname. That is a great nickname for Daniel Jones. Colts are 3-0. They dismantled the Tennessee Titans. Big time win for the Colts. Chargers, they remain undefeated. Defeated the Denver Broncos at home at SoFi Stadium. They're still undefeated. And the Niners, Mac Jones. Now 2 games in a row, he's led them to a win. They were able to hold off the Arizona Cardinals, who they were trying to stay undefeated. They were both 2-0. 3-0 Niners, Cardinals now 2-1. That was a good game. Rest of the winners this week, you got the Chiefs, Commanders, the Jags in their throwback unis, the Vikings with a big-time win in the battle of the backups, and then you've got the Seahawks and the Steelers. Now, let's move to your right side of the board. Who do we have kicking things off? We touched on it briefly. It's Sean McVay's Los Angeles Rams. Rams had multiple chances to go into Philadelphia and take down the defending champions and be 3-0. All they needed was to get a field goal to go through the uprights. That kick was blocked and taken back for a touchdown. The Eagles got the win, but the Rams looked good, and they proved they're one of the best teams in the NFC as we stand through 3 weeks. Now you go to the New York Jets. This is not the Jets' first time in this row. And one of these times, they're going to want to be on this side in this row. They haven't yet. We're 3 weeks into the season. Jets look good. Offense really had played pretty well, and the defense came up clutch. They made this game with Tampa Bay really tight. There's actually a video going online right now about their head coaches, their coaching staff dancing on the sidelines thinking the game's over. They're jumping up and down. There's 2 minutes to go. But wait a minute, Baker Mayfield was on the other team for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers came back, but the Jets showed some promise. Again, they just have to get some wins, and maybe they could make a little run the AFC. But the Jets, they fall to 0-3 now. Not the start you want for your season. The Denver Broncos, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, these guys went into LA and played a pretty dang good game. Cortland Sutton looked really good. They're looking really confident right now, are the Broncos, but they really wanted a division win. The LA Chargers, by the way, they're 3-0. Their 3 wins to start the season have been all in the division. They knocked out the Chiefs week 1, took down the Las Vegas Raiders in week 2, and now they defeat the Denver Broncos. That's a huge start to the season for the LA Chargers. That goes a long way when you get down to division titles. Keep that in mind for the Chargers. Lastly, it's the Arizona Cardinals. This is a game they, going in, probably thought they should have won. Niners were without George Kittle. They were without Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was kind of a game-time decision. Some people thought he was going to play. Some people thought he might not play. He turns out not playing. Mac Jones gets the start again for the Niners. And this is a game the Cardinals could have won. Again, final field goal for the Niners to take down the Cardinals. Cardinals are on the right side of the board here in the top row. Here were the other losers this week. The Vegas Raiders. They're there. Cincinnati Bengals. Oof. They put a little breath on the Bengals. It was not pretty, folks. If you're a Bengals fan, I'm a Bengals fan. That was pretty awful to watch, I'm going to be honest. Got to move past that one quickly, and it doesn't get much better for this team, though. You go from a train wreck to another train wreck. The Atlanta Falcons, what was going on with them? They lost 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers in a game they did not think they were going to lose. They actually ended up benching Michael Penix Jr. Kirk Cousins came in late into this game. Did it do much? Not really, but it was enough to bench Michael Penix. Falcons, they were going. Here was a team that could have done it. Could have been in our top row. They were in their awesome throwback unis. We were like, please, Patriots, are we going to see you? You're at Gillette Stadium. You're in your throwback uni. Get it done. Come on, Drake May. They didn't do it. Pittsburgh Steelers with a big win going into Gillette Stadium, knocking off the Patriots in their throwbacks. When you're in those throwbacks, you want to win. And just today. Cowboys. Green Bay Packers. Shocking. Nobody saw that one coming. Really. I didn't. I don't think anybody else did. Packers with a big one. Now, this spot is held for numerous reasons. Because we got a little pause, and then we go to the teams that are still winless on the year. The Saints. There's just not a lot going on down there in the Bayou. They've got to get it going. The Saints, wake up, baby. Come on. Oh, boy. I mean, I'm going to just point this out. If you are a fan of New York football, whether it's the Giants or the Jets, you like the it's getting really hard right now in New York. This time. The Miami Dolphins. Here's the good news. You played a little better. You went into Buffalo on Thursday night. You showed some signs. Mike McDaniel, he's going to be really happy about it. Tua, he played a lot better game than he had the first 2 weeks of the season. They showed a heartbeat, folks. They're still 0-3, but they showed some positive signs, maybe a little momentum now going into next week. The Houston Texans, now you're going to look at the Dolphins and say they showed signs of positivity. What is going on right now? They've got to get some things figured out. C.J. Stroud has looked nowhere like himself like he did last year. They've got to get some things course corrected. Texans, major moment right now because they sit at 0-3 in the AFC South. They've got to get some things, the AFC East. They've got to get some, it is South. They got to get some things going. Got to get some things going are the Houston Texans. And then lastly, again, we're back in the South. It's the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, the offense really struggling to get things going. They've got to pick it up next week. They got blitzed by the Indianapolis Colts. There's just not many things going on in the right direction for the Titans, but there's always next week. The good news is we're still only 3 weeks into the season. It's a long season. You can get on a big win streak. Titans need to flip the script, and they need to do it right now. That is our info board, folks. That's how we're looking right now in Week 3. Now let's take a look at what Week 4 has in store for us. All right, folks, we turn our attention to Week 4 of the NFL season. Let's break it down. Thursday Night Football, we're back on Prime, and we jump to Arizona. The Seattle Seahawks, 2-1, led by Sam Darnold, who is playing really well and looking really good while doing it. Taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray and the guys thought they had a win last week against the Niners. They end up losing 13-12. This is a battle of 2-1 teams. Major game in the NFC West. That's Thursday evening. Now we move to Sunday. And no, not the 1 o'clock slate. We've actually got a 9:30 game taking place in Dublin, Ireland. A little Irish little skip for y'all. And we've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Vikings are 2-1. Carson Wentz, it seems like, is still going to be the quarterback for the Vikings. The Steelers, they're 2-1 after their win last week. 9:30, Dublin, Ireland. Vikings, Steelers, that's going on. Now we get to our 1 o'clock slate of games. Big game here for multiple small little reasons. Chargers are 3-0. They're looking to go to 4-0. Getting to 4-0 is a big deal for any team in the NFL. Chargers have a golden opportunity when they go to MetLife to take on the Giants, who are really struggling. Giants fans, we heard it last night, they're wanting Jackson Dart to get a start over Russell Wilson. Is this the week they make the QB change and the Ole Miss alum gets to start for the Giants? We're going to have to wait and see. No decision has been made on that yet. We also just found out Chargers are going to be without Najee Harris for the remainder of the season. Achilles, he was carted off last week. It's going to be brutal. Chargers without their starting running back. Giants dying for a win. Will it be Russell Wilson? Will it be Jackson Dart? A lot of things to keep an eye on here. 1 o'clock on Sunday. Now we move to the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. It's a game to get off the schneid. 0-3, 0-3. Somebody is going to get to 1-3. Somebody's going to fall into Shrek's swamp and be 0-4. And I'm going to go out on a limb. Whichever team here falls to 0-4, your season's over. your season's over. If whoever loses this game, we're in a Week 4 elimination game. 0-3, 0-3. Cam Ward and the Titans. C.J. Stroud and the Texans, 1 o'clock Sunday. Now we move up top. Washington Commanders taking on Atlanta Falcons. Here we go again, guys. Jaden Daniels. We don't know if he's healthy. We do not know if Jaden Daniels is going to play for the Commanders. Right now, it's Marcus Mariota, and what an outing he had in his last start just last week. He looked great. Falcons. We don't know who's starting for them. Michael Penix. He was the guy for the Falcons. He's been benched. Kirk Cousins going to get a start? We're going to wait and see. We don't know. Commanders at Falcons. Let's find out Sunday, 1 o'clock. Now we go. New Orleans Saints, Buffalo Bills. You probably see this game hit your screens. You're like, oh, what's going on here? That's a game I'm not going to watch a second of. Here's what I ask. Saints, make this game watchable. I'm not saying go out and win. I'm just saying let us see a couple of moments on NFL Red Zone where Scott Hansen's getting a little jittery, saying, well, wait a minute. The New Orleans Saints, Spencer Rattler and the Saints offense are keeping it close in Buffalo. Can we get a couple of those moments? 0-3 Saints, 3-0 Bills. Big game to watch in Buffalo, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Now we get to a game that might be headlining this week. The 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to take on the 3-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers have looked mighty stingy. They pull out these late games. They've looked really good. Same can go for the Philadelphia Eagles. They've had late game drama. They've been able to work around. They've looked good. Saquon Barkley's looking great. Jalen Hurts, he's looking great. A.J. Brown looked phenomenal against the Rams. What do you say about the Buccaneers? Emeka Egbuka, he's one of the biggest rookies right now to keep your eye on. He's been stellar at the wide receiver position for the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, I can tell you the Browns are still wishing they had Baker. Okay? Deshaun Watson for Baker, that's a terrible trade-off. That deal has not looked good. Baker Mayfield is a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's making it known to every person. He actually said in his press conference last week at the end of the game, that game was personal. The defensive coordinator for the Jets was the guy that cut him. That's personal there. Baker's looking great. Now we go to another game. Browns at Lions. Browns, I'm telling you, best defense in the league right now. Lions are a team that love to score points. They're sitting at 1-1. We don't know if they're going to win on Monday night against the Ravens. That's a mighty tall task, folks. But the Browns defense has been keeping them in games. That's a fun one to watch Sunday, 1 o'clock. Now, we're going to move to the right side of the board. Your right side of the board, we've got the Carolina Panthers coming off a blowout win over the Atlanta Falcons, traveling to take on the New England Patriots. These are two teams right now sitting at 1-2. They're looking for something to get to 2-2. Who's going to do it? Is it going to be Bryce Young and these Panthers, who are a young, gutsy team trying to get to 2-2? We're going to find out. Or is it Drake May, post-Bill Belichick era, and the New England Patriots trying to get to 2-2? They're still at Gillette Stadium looking for a big home win. Now, we jump to the 4 o'clock slate. And I will tell you what, if you looked at this at the beginning of the season, you might not say the best 4 o'clock slate we're going to see all season. This one might be right up there, though. It's an early candidate, let's put it that way. Jags at Niners. Like I said, Brock Purdy was questionable this week. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brock Purdy's going to play this week. The Niners still managed to get to 3-0. Mac Jones was able to handle the job. The Niners are 3-0. They're leading the NFC West. The Jags are 2-1. Okay? This is a big game. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags who get to 3-1, if they can go into Levi Stadium, knock off the Niners. If the Niners get a win, they're 4-0. What I just say about 4-0 teams, you get to 4-0, you are feeling pretty good in the National Football League. Now, we jump to our next game. Again, you thought about the Indianapolis Colts. You didn't think you would say this could be game of the week. It's Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the LA Rams at SoFi Stadium. Rams are 2-1. Oh, they should have been 3-0. Should have been 3-0. The kick was blocked. Eagles obviously moved to 3-0. Colts are 3-0, and they are looking like the best team in the AFC right now. Offense is explosive. The Colts are playing great football, but so are the Rams. That's why this is going to be one to watch. 4 o'clock slate Sunday. Again, okay, that's probably it, right, Philip? No! Check this one out. You got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Kansas City, traveling to Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, take on Hollywood Brown, Isaiah Pacheco. He's running the ball well. Kareem Hunt. Chiefs had a big-time win over the New York Giants. Again, the Giants are 0-3. They're struggling, but the Chiefs, they needed something. They needed positivity. They got to win, and they get it at a big time because this next game is huge for them. Ravens coming into town. Ravens are 1-1. They've got Monday Night Football tonight against the Lions at home at M&T Bank Stadium. Major game, though. Chiefs could fall to 1-3. They could move up to 2-2. That's a big difference in the NFL. Ravens, we don't know. We're going to have to see what happens, though. That is Sunday at 4 o'clock. And then, finishing off the 4 o'clock slate, not as great as these other three, but still a big-time game. You've got two teams here, the Bears and the Raiders. Both playing some decent football. Bears, they needed a big-time win. They got one. They took down the Dallas Cowboys. They put America's team on high alert. Are the Cowboys pretenders? We're going to have to find out. Bears, Ben Johnson, they're trying to look like they're ready to play some football and go into Vegas, go into the Death Star, and knock off Geno Smith and the Raiders, who have struggled just a little bit. Thought we'd see a little more guts out of these guys, a little more offensive prowess. We haven't seen it yet, but a big opportunity here. Bears, Raiders, finishing off the 4 o'clock slate on Sunday. Now we got 3 games left. Sunday Night Football's here. Packers at Cowboys. This is an old-fashioned, big-time game that we love to see, a classic game in the NFL. Jordan Love and the Packers, they got stunned by the Cleveland Browns. Going to be interesting to see how Matt LaFleur and the Packers respond to that. That was kind of like a punch, an Ivan Drago punch from Rocky IV, maybe a clever leg punch from Rocky III right to the gut. You're kind of leaning over, you're going, ugh. Are the Packers going to recover? We're going to find out. Other question mark, are the Cowboys going to recover? Cowboys, I've already said enough. They're reeling right now. Clubber and Drago, Rocky, they've got them on the ropes. Are they going to fall, or are they going to be a Rocky Balboa and respond here? We're going to find out. That's Sunday Night Football this week. And then again, it's so funny. I said this a couple weeks ago. You don't see many Monday night double headers. We've got another one, though. And it's another big opportunity. You see Jets, Dolphins, you're thinking, usually in past years, the Jets, not much to see. Dolphins, they're probably up there in the AFC East. Well, this year they're both 0-3. Another opportunity to get out of the gutter. Get out of the gutter. Get out of the gutter. One of these teams is going to get a win. Is it going to be the Jets? Is it going to be the Dolphins? Both these teams need one badly. It'll be fun to watch Monday night. And if that game somehow, and this goes for both these games, if one of them's a blowout, here's the good news of a doubleheader, you can always change the channel. You can jump to the Bengals and the Broncos. And I can tell you, the NFL schedule people, when they were making this schedule, they thought, whoa, we're going to get Joe Burrow going to Mile High and taking on Bo Nix. These are two of the upcoming QBs of the NFL that are going to be shaping the future of our league. Well, here's the news. You got Jake Browning. And the Bengals are coming off their worst loss in franchise history. 38 points. That stings. Keep in mind, the Bengals have had 3 of their first 4 on the road to start the season. Not a friendly start. Schedule gets tougher here. Big game for the Bengals. Bo Nix and the Broncos, they're looking to right the ship. Offense trying to get back on track, get back in the win category. That game's at 8:15 Monday night. And folks, that is how week number 4 of the NFL season looks. Let's get some fireworks, baby. All right, everybody, diving in to what is a pretty exciting week of college football. Now, going to say right out of the start, this is a week where the Power 5 is dominating with some key matchups. Let's take a look at them right now. We're going to go on your left. We've got the Pwamps featured 4. Let's start off with some Friday Night Lights. The Florida State Seminoles, they're number 8 in the country right now, in the top 25. They're traveling to take on the Virginia Cavaliers in Charlottesville. Going to be a nice little game on Friday night. It's not date night. You got football on Friday night now. Usually you could go on a date, go to a little restaurant. Not anymore. We got some football. Sports are back, folks, in case you're wondering. Friday night, Seminoles, Virginia. That's some Friday Night Lights. That will be fun. Now we get to Saturday. Let's take a look. 3:30, LSU taking on Ole Miss, the Rebels in Oxford. This is a top 25 matchup. Garrett Nussmeier, Brian Kelly. There's been a lot of things. Brian Kelly, he doesn't think his team is getting the respect they deserve. This is a statement game. Interplay, SEC. You go on the road to Oxford, get a win over the Rebels, that'll be a little statement. But it's also vice versa. If Ole Miss can defend home turf and will get a win over a great LSU team, look out. That's a fun one. LSU, Ole Miss, 3:30 on Saturday. Now, usually, I will point this out, this game would be at 3:30. Tends to be at 3:30 in the past. Alabama and Georgia. We're going between the hedges in Athens. This time it's at 7:30 on Saturday night. It's on ABC. Bama in the top 25. Kalen DeBoer, he's got the guys playing a little better. They're looking strong. You've got a mighty tough task, though, going to take on the Dogs. And guess what? There's a guy there who is in total mid-season form, and his visor is there with him. Kirby Smart has Gunnar Stockton and the boys playing really well down in Georgia. It's always a fun one, though. It's always fireworks. It's always like an episode of Gunsmoke with James Arness. Alabama and Georgia. That's going on 7:30 Saturday night. And guess what? We've got a little dessert going on at the same time. You probably thought, oh, 7:30, there's only one game on, right? No. Maybe the game of the year candidate here, the Oregon Ducks. They're number 6 in the country. Donald Duck will be with them as they travel to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions, number 3 in the country in Happy Valley. Happy Valley, one of the toughest places to play in college football. You throw in that this is a night game, might even be a whiteout. It's going to be mighty tough for the Ducks to go into Penn State, get a win. But what a big win it would be. And what a big win, though, it would be for Penn State, who a lot of people are saying, Penn State, kind of like an Indiana situation last year. Not a ton of tough games. This is a game for them to silence the doubters, silence those comments. If they can knock off Oregon, you're making an early season statement. That is Saturday at 7:30, folks. Major game in college football. Now we go to your right. My other 4. What do we start with? Well, we start with Mr. Maeva and Lincoln Riley traveling over to Champaign to take on the Fighting Illini. And the Fighting Illini are still reeling from the bludgeoning in Bloomington. You heard me right, the bludgeoning in Bloomington. 63-10, Luke Altmaier and the Fighting Illini lost to the Indiana Hoosiers. Don't get me wrong, top 25 matchup, but it was expected to be a little closer than that. That was a bludgeoning in Bloomington. Now, here's the situation here. USC's playing really well. The offense is playing really well. They've been in this situation before where they creep into the top 25, they suffer a bad loss, they fall right back out. They've got a major moment here to go to Champaign, go cross country for them, and take on the Fighting Illini. It would be a big win. Fighting Illini looking to keep the wheels, get them actually back on the track. Gotta be back on the track. Luke Altmaier looked in the mirror for the Fighting Illini after that game and he said, Buzz, your girlfriend, whoa. We've got to get this back right away. Will it happen? We're going to find out. That is Saturday at noon in Champaign. Now, we're still at noon. Fun little game here. UCF, undefeated, traveling to take on K-State. K-State was a team a lot of people expected to be right in the heart of the college football race, college football playoff race. That's not happening right now. Avery Johnson, these guys are really struggling in K-State. They're looking for a big win, though, to get back on track against UCF. Meanwhile, UCF, they're looking for a win that would be a big statement and also get them to 4-0 on this young season. Will it happen? That's at noon on Saturday. 2 more to go. Who do we have here? We've got the Owls of Rice University. They're traveling to take on the midshipmen of Navy. We're going to take a quick second. Navy's helmet. Let's just soak it all in. Is that not a pretty awesome helmet or what? I mean, real quickly, we're going to take another second because this is a unique helmet week. Very unique helmet week. A lot of interesting helmet matchups. Not a lot of the same colors. Kind of cool, don't you think? I think it's pretty awesome. I don't know. I like helmets though. I can tell you that. Rice and Navy. Rice 3-1. Navy still undefeated. This is a fun little game at 3:30 on Saturday. If you see it, give it a little watch. It could be a fun one. It could be a little sneaky one that sneaks in there. 3:30 Saturday. Also 3:30 on Saturday. The number one team in the country, they're back in action. They're traveling cross country though. They're leaving the shoe behind, coming off their bye week, and they're traveling to Washington. Washington, a team that didn't have a ton of people thinking high ceiling for them at the start of this season. They've got a big moment here. Number one team in the country coming to your stadium, and the Huskies are 3-0. This is no easy game for the Buckeyes. I will tell you, had this been vice versa, had Ohio State been at home at the shoe, this game would not have been on my board. Buckeyes would have been heavy favorites, but you never know. When you're traveling across the country, going into the deep woods in the Seattle area for Washington, we don't know what's going to happen. That's Saturday at 3:30. Number one Ohio State traveling to take on the purple and gold of the Washington Huskies, who are also 3-0. Folks, that's our college football lineup for this week. Featured 4, one more glance. There you go. And my other 4 to just keep an eye on this week as you scan around, as you flip channels, as you eat your Doritos and your salads and your brats, whatever you're eating this weekend. These are the games to keep an eye on. Enjoy it. All right, everybody. We are getting mighty close to October, and what does that mean for the world of baseball? That means the playoffs are right around the corner. On your left, we've got the American League heat map going on right here, and on your right, we've got the National League heat map going on. How are things looking in the state of the Major League Baseball playoff race? Let's dive in. Talk of the MLB world has been what the heck is going on in the American League Central. We start with the division-leading Detroit Tigers. A lot of people thought, I myself included, Tigers had this division on lock. Let's get to the numbers. Tigers are 5-13 in the month of September. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Fans in Detroit are having major brain aneurysms. They're whoa, they don't know what's going on. It's like a Teletubbies episode. 9 out of their last 10, they are struggling. Now you look at the Cleveland Guardians. Wait a minute, folks. 16-5 in the month of September. Guardians are El Fuego right now. They have won 9 of their last 10. So now we go to the board. Let's take a look. Guardians are right here on our second row. Had it not been for a loss by the Guardians just this past weekend, these 2 spots might have been flipped. But here's what we're going to do first. We got to start. I have to do it. I'm sorry. I know. Texas Rangers. We said you guys needed to make a run. The AL West has been really hot and heavy with the Mariners and the Astros going at it for the division title. Rangers, you've lost 7 in a row. It was a good run. You're out of here. I'm sorry, you are off the board. So what does that mean? That means I get to do this. The Boston Red Sox, they move over. The Astros, they move over. And the Guardians, they move 1 spot over. That's how we're looking right now. Blue Jays, still looking good in the American League East. They've got a couple game separation over the New York Yankees. Yankees are sitting pretty, though, in that top wild card spot. The Yankees, I mean, they're going to be in the postseason. Aaron Judge, he's hitting homers. Cody Bellinger's playing really well out in the outfield. The Yankees are looking good. You're going to see them in October. You're going to see the Blue Jays in October. Whether it's a division title or it's a wild card spot, you're going to see the Blue Jays. And then we've got some real big news in the AL West. This weekend, we had a big series going on in Houston. Astros were at home for a 3-game set with the Seattle Mariners. This was a big talking point. This was a battle going on for the division. The Mariners went in and they swept the Houston Astros. Mariners looking like they are solidifying that spot and maybe a division crown in the AL West. Cal Raleigh, by the way, hit his 58th homer of the season. You talk about a crazy thing to see. That's unbelievable. Big tuna, Cal Raleigh. That's nice. That is how we sit, though, right now in the AL. But what you got to watch it, folks. You've got to watch the Tigers and the Guardians down the stretch. Both teams, 6 games to go. It's going to be interesting. You've got a team that's on life alert, and you've got a team that is so hot, the team name might be changed to the Heat Misers. We don't know. I just got a call. The Tigers said they've fallen and they can't get up. Will they get back up before the season ends? We're going to have to see, folks. Tigers, Guardians, follow that race in the American League. It's the headline storyline of the American League. Now, we go to your right. It's time for the National League. We take a look. The Phillies. They've punched their ticket. They're in the playoffs. You will see them in October. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto. This team's stacked. You'll see them in October. How about the Dodgers? Well, the Dodgers have not clinched the NL West yet, but it seems like they are going to be the division champion in the NL West. 6 games to go. They have a 3-game lead on the Padres. It would take a big-time miracle with that little games to go for the Padres to win the division. Doesn't seem likely. I've got the Dodgers winning the NL West. They're going to be the 3 seed in the NL postseason. Now, we talk about the Brewers. The Brewers ran away with the NL Central a little while ago. They've been the best team in baseball, and they're going to be seen in October. Now we get to our second row. The Cubs. They're in. We've got playoff baseball at Wrigley. No, believe me, nobody's happier than Bill Murray. Bill Murray loves going to Wrigley, particularly in October. He's ecstatic, and he's going to say to any team that comes in, he's looking to say, we came, we saw, we kicked their ass. Ghostbusters quote for all those entertainment fans out there. The Cubs are in. Cubs are in. They're feeling good. Now we move to the Padres. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Xander Bogaerts. These guys, it's like I said, going to take a tall task to win the division. Most likely not going to happen. They're going to be in the postseason, though. They're feeling really good. They're in that 5th spot right now. You're going to see the Padres in the postseason. Now it gets intense. We've got 5 helmets on this board for 1 spot. Well, actually, we've got a smaller number than that. The San Francisco Giants. It's been nice knowing you. You're out of here. Giants, you're out. It's not happening this year. It came up just a little too short. It's next year for the Giants. We'll have to see what happens. Now, okay, that's it. Everybody else is in. Everybody's all buckled in, ready to go on the field trip. Nope. Cardinals. I said it last week. Whoever lost the series between the Reds and the Cardinals, their playoff chances came crashing down. Cardinals, you're out. Cardinals are flying away. They're on the baseball bat just like their logo, and the Cardinal said, I want to leave the bat. It flew away. Cardinals, done. Season over. Now, am I going to go reach for the Diamondbacks? As Dikembe would say, not in my house. The Diamondbacks. I'm going to move them to no. I'm only going to move the Diamondbacks right here. And here's why. The team that is sitting in the driver's seat, can you believe this? It is the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds have a tiebreaker over everyone else. They have one over the Diamondbacks, and they have one over the New York Mets. If the season ended right now, as I was telling you about this standing update, the Cincinnati Reds are in the postseason. We still got 6 games to go. There's a trap feeling, though, for the Reds. I'm going to tell you. A 3-game home series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates, just last year, they kind of dashed the hopes of the Reds. Oh my goodness, it will be agonizing. If you tell me the Reds lose Joe Burrow, sorry, the Bengals have lost Joe Burrow, the town of Cincinnati, all the football, they've said Burrow's gone, so football, we're kind of tuning out a little bit. And the Pirates come into Great American Ballpark and dash the hopes again. Oh my goodness. But the Mets are still hanging around. It's a tie between these two. Diamondbacks sit just right back though. 6 games to go. This is what you love to see when you get to the final days of the Major League Baseball season, and we're going to have our eyes on it. So again, big things to watch. Who gets the 6th spot in the National League? Is it the Mets, the Reds, or the Diamondbacks? That's in the National League. In the American League, what do we have to watch? Is it the Tigers or is it the Guardians in the AL Central? And I will say, even though with that sweep, the Mariners won that series against the Astros, 4-3 head-to-head, by the way. Keep an eye on it. It's not a done deal yet, and we still have a couple games to go. Folks, that's the MLB as it stands as we are in the final week of the regular season. That's the sports update this week. Keep your eyes on the TV screens. I'm going to come back, though, in a little while with some Ryder Cup updates. I'm excited to get into that. If you like what you saw, do me a favor. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe, leave a little like, leave a little comment. Let me know what teams you're supporting, what games you're looking forward to watching this week. Will the Tigers survive to make it to the postseason? We got a lot of storylines. See you in a little while.